Can anyone catch them, do you think?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that.
Bukayo, how tough of a game was that? A big 3 points, but it felt like a tough game.
Yeah, it was a tough game in the end. I feel like we were comfortable for a lot of the game, and then in the end we conceded that goal, and it made things more nerve-wracking than it should have been. So yeah.
Got to ask you about your goal. 9 goals for the Premier League season. Talk us through the goal, because it all started from some great sort of play from you to steal the ball off the defender.
Yeah, that's what we work on every day. The high press, and as soon as I won it, I found Lacazette, and yeah, he knows where I am and my movement. So it's so fun to play with him, and yeah, he put the ball in a perfect spot for me, and it was just down to me to finish, and yeah, I finished it well.
How confident are you feeling in front of goal this season? It feels like you've taken a massive step forward.
Yeah, I feel much more confident. I still have a long way to go in terms of where I wanna be in front of goal. But I think just to keep trying. I think that's the only way I can improve. I'll miss some, I'll score some, and I'll just learn from them.
You got nine goals in all comps this season. Do you set yourself targets at the start of the season or not?
Yeah, I do set myself targets, but at the same time, I just want to win each game. So if I don't score but we win, sometimes it's better for the team, and I think this is the way to think about it. And at the end of the season, we'll achieve big things like this.
I know he's missing today, but you and Emil were the 2 top scorers for Arsenal so far this season. Any sort of friendly rivalry between you to you can get top scorer?
No, we just want to see each other do well. I'm sure he's happy for me, and I'm always happy for him when he scores. But yeah, of course there's a bit of a rivalry, but it's nothing. We all just want to score for Arsenal because it's been our dream since we were kids.
Hi everyone. So welcome to another episode of the Gooners podcast. This is the discussion about the game that at 70 minutes I was going like, okay, I'm gonna give an intro with which I'm gonna say like, oh, very good performance, awesome game, Arsenal steamrolled and stuff, and then they scored the dratted goal, and then it kept me not. Yeah. So now I have to give an intro, which I am very, very confused about whether I should be happy about it or whether I should be like, I'm happy about top 4. Don't mistake me on that point, but whether I should be happy about the game in general or not is a confusing point. So that's where we'll talk and we'll discuss and find out whether I should be happy or not, right? So welcoming Bob back. Hi, Bob.
Hey, how you going?
And welcoming back Aben. Hi, Aben.
Hello all.
I think Arun will join us shortly, so we'll wait for him to join. Before that, we'll get the quick thoughts on the game, right, Bob? Bob, so tell me, should I be happy about this game, or should I be wary about how things went down in the last 10 minutes or so?
Okay, at the end of August, when we were 3 games down, did you ever think that we will? I mean, I won't say finish in the top 4, but did you ever think that we will be in the top 4 at some point in time?
Think is different from hope. I did hope, but I didn't think it was possible.
No, yeah, I just asked you if you had thought about it. If you have not, none of us did, right? We thought was thinking in the top 6 or top 8. Top 6 would be a distinct reality. Top 8 was more realistic, is what we were thinking. Yeah, from where we were to even be in the top 4 after all this time in the league is a massive achievement. Seriously, it's a massive achievement. And with that thought, I know we have other things to touch upon, as in like, defensive sort of fatalities and all those sort of things. But 3 points is what matters, even if you score 10 goals or 5 goals, you maul someone like Everton, that poor old Everton, that we lost against, which is a different thing. Still, 3 points is what matters, right?
Yeah, but still, Bob, right? I could be. This is the point that I was making, Aben, right? Like I'll continue that discussion with you. Bob was mentioning about the season in general. Yes, I am happy about where we are in a season's point of view, right? Like where we are in the table from being a 3-pointer and stuff like that. That I'm happy. I'm not questioning that side of things. The question I have is regarding this game, right? Like literally regarding this. If I'm going to consider this game as one single entity that exists by itself in space, right? In that point, should I be happy about that we got a 3-point out of this game, or should I be a little disappointed that it should have been an easier game?
For me, I think I'm going to echo what Bob said, because it's simple. You've got 3 points, you have to be happy. As a fan, we'll be greedy if you're asking for the perfect game, with not conceding anything, being comfortable. But what matters most is 3 points. Whether you get it 3-2, 3-0, 5-0, doesn't matter. In the end, it is the 3 points that matter. And like everybody, our Arteta is talking about, everyone is talking about, each one of these games is a cup final for us. We take one game at a time, and if we get 3 points, that's a victory for us. And added to that, considering where we are in the table, like we didn't expect to be here, so it is a win. I don't see that. Yeah, there were issues in the game, but in the end, we won. That's what matters for me any day.
True. I mean, that is what, as an Arsenal fan, we should be, glad about the wins that we could have, especially after the years that we have gone through.
See, as an Arsenal fan, there were times where we used to be proud about the way we played, or how we played with possession, with the technical ability the players had at that time, etc. But they didn't always convert into points. So now it is converting into points, especially this season. From where we started, where we are, it is an overachievement. And let's take pride in that. We still have a long way to go. We still have 13 games to go.
We'll talk about that in detail shortly, because we have to touch upon where we are going at some point in this podcast, right? Like, but before that, like, we would have to talk about the game in general. One of the things that I know we want to talk about, like Odegaard, Saka, and everything, right? And we have talked about them. We know who our wonder kids are and stuff like that. But one of the things that I want to put out as a question in itself is, like, we seem to be always under a constant flux of the way we play. I don't know if I'm putting my points rightly across. So, for example, we started with a back three with Arteta. Then we moved to something called like attacking from the left. Then we had a double pivot. Now we have like a rotating three in the midfield. Then we had a two up top. Then we had like all these tucking in wingers, and we always seem to have this constant fluid or constant changes in our structure that works until it doesn't. So are we just being a team that comes up with ideas and changes it when it doesn't work, or are we going to be a team with an identity?
Not sure if I understood your question in the context of what you are asking.
Of course,
so,
I confuse. That's what I do.
Yeah. So probably from what I got, I probably understood your question as maybe if Arteta's formation against this particular game wasn't as much to the standards that you were sort of expecting. Would actually that sum up what you are asking?
Not exactly. So what is Arteta's standards? That's what my question is, right? Like, is it about just getting 3 points, or is it about like a particular way in which we are we looking ahead and saying this is how we want to play, or are we just being like, yeah, this is where we want to get, we'll get there however we want?
I think we are an evolving team. We are not playing, it's not that we are doing what just anything to get 3 points. I think it's an evolving team. Like you said, the formation has changed from where we started. At some point we had a double pivot. Now we have moved to more of a 4-3-3 at the moment, etc. So it's an evolving this thing. And the last 5, I think this was the 5th game back to back where we've got the same lineup, if I'm not wrong. I think from the time Tomiyasu got injured, with Cedric started playing, I think this is the 5th game. There was a stat also when I was seeing the game, saying that the 5th
except
game
for Smith Rowe not being available.
Yeah. I think for 4 or 5 games we've had the same. So I think there is a level of consistency, but obviously I think it's an evolving team. We cannot forget that we are still in a rebuilding phase. That's why we are saying it's an overachievement to be where we are in the table at the moment. So it's to answer your question, if I have understood it correctly, you're saying there's a lot of changes. Are we basically trying something out, and then if it doesn't work, then we think about a change? I don't think so. I think Arteta is trying things, and I think he's kind of settled into what he wants to do, at least for this season. With new faces coming in next season, maybe he will evolve again into something else.
Yeah, that kind of answers the question, right? Like, because it's about, like, for me at least, it's more because I think we grew up in Arsene Wenger's era, right? The changes are very, very slow, or very.
So is the personal, right? So is
Yeah.
the personal. Look at the people that once were playing with Wenger, and players that we have now. I'm not faulting any of them. All of them are terrific, seriously, in their own way.
This question came to me because of that, right? Like, because whatever we could literally go ahead and put what Arsenal is gonna be at the start of the season, like 30th game of the season. What would be the Arsenal team that would go out? What would be the formation? I could say on the game week 1 with Arsene Wenger, right?
Okay.
Because that's
and isn't this the same thing getting repeated now? Okay, on the contrary, considering the Arsene Wenger era and where we are now, we could just pick up a player from academy, say Hutchinson or Patino or anyone. You could just pick him up from the way that he plays in the academy, put him in the first 11, he would play exactly the same way. So which means that right from the academy till our first 11, there is actually a pattern of play being followed. I felt that probably during the later years of Wenger, and as well as during Emery's turbulent time and all those sort of things, we sort of lost it. There wasn't a time where you could actually pick an academy player. When was the last time that, apart from Smith Rowe and Saka and all those people, prodigies, when were the last time that you were able to pick an academy player, put into a first 11 and perform to the same levels as what you would expect in them?
I mean, I would say EOB, but you guys would laugh. So
you are laughing, buddy. Even before we could, you are laughing at yourselves. And I'm laughing at Everton because they paid 35 million for him. It's done.
Scam of century. Please don't reveal the secret. We have to do that more and more.
I think we should stop comparing to the Wenger era or yesteryear. Okay. So one thing which is working for us is we've got a new set of players. Quite a lot of players are new. They don't carry the baggage of Arsenal of the past, the underachieving Arsenal of the past. So we've got a new set of players. We've got, I think during the end of Wenger era or Emery era, we didn't have a proper process. We were buying players, and now we are seeing, right, there's a pattern of how we are bringing in players. It was resonating in January when we didn't get a player which suited us. We didn't get it. We were not, we're not adjusting to something. So I think we should stop comparing. It's a new team who are trying to find their footing in Premier League, a style of play. So it's an evolving team and an evolving style of play, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, true. We shouldn't be comparing two different eras. It's the same thing that we have been saying, people, right? Like when people compare Henry to, funnily, the Tottenham fans are comparing Henry to Kane, which is absolutely ridiculous and laughable, but true. So regarding the topic of youngsters, we have to talk about two of our best talents. I don't know whom we should start the discussion with. I think I would start with Odegaard because he scored the first goal. He created the first goal. He created the second goal. He created the third goal. So, Aben, do you think Odegaard is the man of the match?
Hey guys, before you answer that question, there's been a lot of speculation around going in social media if Odegaard really tried to score the first goal. Was he trying to score?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
because there's been a lot of questions going around whether
Is
his
it
foot
because
was
of
not
his
actually in
attempt
position to
in
be
the
scoring.
match before this? Because the match before this, he had a similar attempt, but obviously he couldn't finish it. It was a
See, I have no
Same
doubts
question.
about that,
These are
but
the
I just
same
wanted to
folks.
get your thoughts.
No, Bob, these are the same folks who question, like, did Bergkamp intend to do the turn?
Yeah.
Right? These are the same
Yeah.
folks who would question all these stupid
Yeah,
things. Did
sorry,
Arun-
Evan, you were going to say
it was a
something else.
very silky finish, to be frank. It was a very silky, smooth finish. Excellent
Yeah,
pass he
while since
played
we
on to
saw that,
Saka. He
right?
played,
Yeah.
and it was a very smooth and silky finish. Very elegant goal, I would say.
Even
Very
the
simple.
start of it, right? When he does that backflip, it's not a backflip. Like, he didn't use his leg to flip that thing. He just kept his leg in the path of the ball so that the ball hit it, and then it went to Saka. Such a the chef's kiss kind of player he is.
It was a very simple finish and very good to the eye finish. Definitely, no doubt in that.
So, Aben, do you think he's the man of the match for you?
I think yes, probably, and I'd argue even the last match he was there because I think he does a lot of running for us. The movement of the ball, he controls a lot. And for me, yes, he had a role in all three goals in a way, not an assist or scoring, but it might be the pass before that. But he definitely had a role, and for me, he's definitely the man of the match.
Bob, if Aben is making the case for Odegaard to be the man of the match, there is also a case that could be made for Saka to be the man of the match.
Oh, okay. I thought Aaron Ramsdale. No. Okay.
We'll talk about Ramsdale later, but before that, like, we have to talk about Saka in the sense that this kid is someone who's special. We have talked about Saka a lot. We have used all superlatives. We have called him star boy. We have called him all those things. But especially the second goal where Saka scores, right? He picks the ball out of Cleverley's leg. He just muscled him down, turned, gave the ball to Lacazette, and then put in a finish that was absolutely brilliant. This kid is not only like silky smooth and like intelligent, but every time he gets a ball, his first thought is like, let me go towards the goal. That's what I love about him, right? Yeah. So
no, see, I would like to echo the thoughts of our manager because he's just literally moved places since that Euro heartbreak. That has actually set the mind in the right way for him. People crumble. I mean, we could see Maguire is still moving on from Euro loss.
Let's take a moment and laugh at United for that performance and laugh.
Guys, I just said Maguire. I didn't ask you to laugh. Right? So
there was this acronym that I saw in social media that was like similar to rolling on the floor laughing. This is rolling on the floor defending. ROFD. I was literally there were a couple of clips where United defenders were on floor. Sorry.
Anyway, so the thing is, he has actually put his attitude in the right place. He's moved on in the right direction from the heartbreak and from the tragedy of missing the last penalty and all those sort of things. And look what he has done. 13 goal contributions in the Premier League is not an easy feat for a 20-year-old. Yeah, so it's takes a massive mindset for you to be in there and do the things that you're doing. Not just one game or two games. He's been doing that quite consistently this season. I just sincerely hope that he grows more. That's it.
I think consistency is one thing which is basically it's shining at the moment, because last year also he was good, but he was not able to consistently do it each game. He was good in a game, maybe not good in one game. But I think this season he's been very consistent, because if you're not consistent, you won't have 13.
Now he's got the personnel and the team to support his way, right? Yeah, he's got the freedom to move. Since, I mean, not having a proper striker up front, I'm not discounting Lacazette as such. He's got a very important role. He's playing an important role. He's is massively pulling his socks off for a player who is getting out of contract at the end of the year. With Lacazette being there, he is just linking up quite well with the other forwards and then creating spaces for them. I'm talking about Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, everyone. And the forward is it's just a beauty in motion that we're seeing with all of them in play, and then so fluid with all the things. Even the blinders that were actually scored against Brentford, I was just reminiscing, how exactly that they were, both of them, both Saka and Smith Rowe, both of them were in the sort of same position, and they sort of angled in. Shows their confidence in what they are doing. And they can be so sure that it would be going in. Of course, there will be days where, everything won't happen the way that you would want, but that's football, isn't it? If they're able to do it the most of the days, then that's top level of consistency. I'll be quite intrigued to see who else would be on the reckoning except for him and Foden for the young player of the year. Saka should be there. I think he has got one hand on that trophy. But yeah, I think we have to be patient with his development and just give him more time and not set expectations.
Actually, on that topic, on Lacazette's topic, there are talks about him getting a contract extension or
short term, right? Yeah,
contract extension. So actually,
at least for now, Arteta has made it very clear. I saw the videos as well circling around the all or nothing Amazon thing, where Arteta was asked if he had any pressure to sign a striker, having not signed anyone towards the end of the deadline day. He said if either he's going to sign someone who's going to fit in the team or not sign anyone at all. And that's the attitude. So with Lacazette, they are playing it very cautiously, having failed twice before recently with Ozil and Oba. They just want to play it carefully. He's playing good. He's playing decently well enough, but there's not been any talks as such progressing on his contract as far as I last read. Things could change, but yeah, we don't know at this point.
That's Arun entering the podcast with a billion ton.
He's preferring to be himself on mute, I think. Yeah, he wouldn't want.
I'm back. I just didn't want to be a disturbance.
All right. Okay.
But Arun, so we talked about Odegaard, we talked about Saka, and we are just getting into Lacazette. So before we get to that point, do you want to add any more superlatives to Odegaard and Saka? Like anything else apart from Starboy, Wonder Kid,
Magic, the magician.
The magician.
Magic number 8.
Disney Prince and Little Chili.
Lionel Saka and Mesut Odegaard, whatever.
So they call David Silva at City. His nickname was Merlin the Wizard.
Yeah.
We just need to come up with something of that sort. Like the Grand Wizard of Arsenal is Odegaard. Like the way in which if that's not magic, I don't know what it is.
Absolutely. So regarding Lacazette, right? Bob made excellent points about all this, getting a striker that fits the system. But he didn't still answer the question that I was raising, which is, would you give him a contract extension?
No.
So no one's ready to give him a contract.
I would. I would give a 1-year extension as a support striker, but not as a main striker. No.
Yeah, and that's where I have the issue. He's right now at what, 180K per week, or 200. Even if he does take a pay cut and goes to 150, paying 150 for a support striker is a lot of money. Especially when you consider that we are going to be we are in a situation where we need to offer Saka a new contract. We need to tie these kids down. That money is better spent over there than offering a new contract to Lacazette. I know the intangibles that he brings in is great. Yes, he's a great support system in a team full of youngsters. He'd be the one old head leading them and all that. But and a big but, 150 for a support striker is not in my books.
No. But okay. if that is the case, right, do you see us being able to replicate his quality for a support striker? Not the first striker.
We should
or
not
let's say
just
150.
not just replicate her quality. We should aim to do better.
See, we have to do
E-
better.
e-
There's
even
no
for a
doubt in that.
support
No,
striker, even for a
that's-
support striker is what I'm saying. I know you added the thing, like, you know, the thing
Replicate.
about the caveat about like him being a support striker. Yes, I totally understand, but that is not just Lacazette is amazing at what he does, but he doesn't score goals. That doesn't mean that another player coming in cannot score goals in the system.
I mean, he has almost like his assist record right now.
Yes, it's great, but I want someone. I want
at his prime.
Okay, so think
think-
of
I
this, Vijay. Diego Jota is a support striker. Riyad Mahrez, although he's not prolific actually as a striker, he is a support striker as such. If not for De Bruyne, they're bringing Sterling, they're bringing in Mahrez. I know we are not City or Liverpool, but we have to be thinking along those lines, isn't it?
Yeah. See, we have to improve. We have to improve over what Lacazette can do. There's no doubt in that. My only concern is we're going to get 2 new strikers. We need 2 new strikers. We've got Nketiah going out, got Lacazette going out. If you're not extending, what if they don't click in the first
That's
season?
always the risk.
That's the only thing.
There, Aben. I think that's where the recruitment has to be smart enough, and then just bring in. If Arteta is very keen in terms of who exactly that he wants and what specific player or what specific style of a striker that he wants, I would trust on the recruitment team to actually bring in.
For me, my statement on giving Laka an extension is only in that transition, for that transition.
I totally understand your point. You don't want us to be like, you know, in a situation where we do not have an experienced head to fall back in case, like, you know, things don't go well. I totally agree, but I'm like, I totally agree with Bob as well. Like, you know, that's where our recruitment should be bang on. We shouldn't be like taking chances. Like, I think in the January window, we didn't buy anyone because we didn't want to get panic buys. If we are having that level of clarity of not doing something stupid in January and wait for the window to come and where we can actually have more options, I would definitely trust that team to go on and get a couple of people who would be able to fit in well, or at least not like look completely lost. In my head, if we are going to give Lacazette a contract extension, we are definitely not moving forward. We're either staying where we are, irrespective of who we get as a first striker, or we are moving a little back. And that is not going to sell for this. You know, Lacazette is not a prolific striker. We know, yes, you told me about his assist record, but he's out of gas by the time it's 60, 70 minutes. And next year, he'll be a year older. What is the efficiency that we are going to be getting from him? You know, like
that's why I have another name in my mind. I know you guys are gonna roast me for it. Olivier Giroud coming back as a support striker. He's doing pretty good in Syria.
No, he said thank you, Arsenal. Would you want to take him in the team after that?
Just no. I was just trying to poke a conversation out of things. But getting back to the game, Aben, right? Not just this game, but in the past couple of games, I've been having the feeling that Ramsdale is going through a phase. Let's put that as alumnia phase or Flappy Hansky phase.
No, I don't agree with that. The reason is Ramsdale's character is like that. That's what I believe. The way he plays what you say, high risk, high reward game. I would put it that way. So because I think even the Norwich game, if I remember correctly, that was the first game I went into the stadium. I think he had Norwich game, or I don't remember which game it was. There were opportunities where he came out of the goal towards closer to the corner flag, lost the ball, but we were fortunate. So I think it's part of his game. So I think in this game, I'm assuming you're referring to the one where he came almost closer to the halfway line, not halfway line, I think midway. And then he tried to pass it, but the pass went straight to the opponent. Obviously, they were not able to take a quick shot. So it all ended well for us. But yeah, I think his style of play is like that. We will see.
Thank God it was Sissoko.
Exactly. So I think his style of play is like that. We will have many more instances like this. He is also young. He has to improve. He has to, curb his some of his instincts in going out like this.
But the problem with that Arun, is that it's not just Ramsdale that looks a little bit suspect, right? I mean, we cannot stop the first goal. It's a one-off goal that could happen to any team anywhere. It's not going to happen.
You recreate the same situation. You put that Hernandez guy in the same spot, asking to do the same thing. It's not going to go in.
Yeah, that's not my concern. The concern for me was the goal after that, because they didn't create a lot. There were not many chances that I could remember that was like clear cut that we cleared or anything. But the one clear cut chance that they got, we kind of like slept on it. The Sissoko goal in itself. There was a bit of a luck that played a part in it, but still, that is a little bit of scary thing to happen, and that happened in last game too, in the game before that. So this suspect nature of the defense, it's a bit.
Do you see like this is a blip in form, or like are you thinking you're noticing a pattern?
I don't know. That's my question to you. Why are you turning that to me? Come on.
I want to get your opinion on that. Like, I mean, it's for me, I think I just want to like, compare it with an actual bad defense that we had. We don't have to go too far back to like think about bad defenses. 1.5 seasons ago, we did have bad defenses where like all of them would commit mistakes and just point fingers at each other. From there to the rest of the game that we played against Watford, there was never like a lot of situations where we were completely out of shape, where we had like two center backs standing next to each other, or like a wing back completely out of position that gave them a free thing in. The compactness was still visible, which makes me think it's not like a systemic thing. It's not something that we have to worry about in the sense that it is going to be a recurring thing that would affect us as we keep going. Like it's about how well they were able to like stem the flow after that one goal that we conceded at the beginning. After that, till the second goal that we conceded, there was hardly any mistake, apart from, of course, Ramsdale, like, sending the ball directly to the opposition a couple of times. I think I would put that more down to something that has had to happen to Ramsdale. He was like having fantastic games all around, and probably like, these sort of mistakes and the scrutiny that he gets probably brings him back to the ground and like makes him like, think that yes, he has to up his game. That's how I would like to see it.
Actually, sorry to sort of cut you off there. No, there are actually a lot of talks going around now that Ramsdale has been doing some sort of mistakes in some of the fans' opinions, that Leno should be getting his berth back.
Yeah. I don't know if he's making enough mistakes to like, be kicked out of the team, but I think like at this stage in his development in the season that we are in and like what we are trying to achieve, this is sort of a wake up call for him as well. Like, yes, your defense can save you, but like if your defense is as assured, your defense is as assured as you are. The confidence that the defense get is like, it's mutual. If your goalkeeper is shaky, your defense is not going to be like, as confident as they normally should be. So I would say like, this would just be a blip, hopefully a wake up call, and he comes back better, because like the stuff that he does is not like, playing out from the back is not something Leno can do as comfortably. So like with Leno, the same thing would have been like, a wrong pass that would get intercepted by someone who's trying to press. So given all that, like, yeah, I would just see it as a blip. Even the defense, it's like we conceded 1 goal and we conceded 2 goals. For a defense of this age, playing together for the first time with like, Cedric Soares, who's definitely not the best of defenders, though he's been playing well, we have just conceded these many goals. I would like to just see it that way.
Sorry, in Cedric's defense, he's been playing amazingly well.
No, yeah, definitely, but
every one of our expectations.
Yes, but like, would you
and
say
that's a
that
worry as well for me, because we need him good, yes, but would we want to keep him beyond the season? That's again a Lacazette question.
Yes, so I don't think that's going to happen either. Yeah, so to answer your question, Vijay, I think it's just like, a small blip. I don't think it's a recurring pattern until it happens in the next away game as well.
Let's hope it's not going to happen the next couple of games, because Bob, although we are happy that we are in top 4, and we are unhappy that Spurs put 5 past Everton, and gain some confidence. The rest of the games that we have to play in the season to remain in this position seems to be a very uphill task. Although I'm confident in some ways, I'm also like a little bit wary in some case. Like we have to play Leicester next, and we have to play Liverpool, we have to play Aston Villa, we have to play Crystal Palace, we have to play Brighton, who are playing really good, then United, then West Ham, so and Newcastle. So it's like literally we are playing all big games, all teams that could potentially take points out of the fixtures. Do you see us sustaining this? Do you see us finishing in top 4?
See, I'll tell you, as we spoke about, we know the fact that, we have to be playing battles every game, and how do we actually pick our play, and how do we actually go approach the game does definitely matter for each and every game. We can't really say, oh, we won against Watford, so we are going to be favorites against Leicester. No, I think the team's mentality has to be, come on, it's just another game. We're going to be again putting our asses off and trying to stop them from getting anything out of it. So that's how the approach has to be for every game. It's going to be a very, and the pundits are not really backing us. Not everyone is backing us, right? And having been in sort of similar positions before, we've faltered more often than succeeded. So we have our odds backed against us. So which means that the team should be finding something, like the Crystal Palace goal. The Wolves goal, we have to be finding that extra something in every game to get us, past the line, I would say. It's going to be very, very difficult. If you ask me, the optimist in me is going to say, yes, we are going to be finishing top 4. I know, yes, we have tough fixtures ahead with United, Spurs, and Liverpool and Chelsea. We've still got, a bit difficult run of fixtures ahead, but still I am confident that if we play to our abilities, we'd be able to make something out of each of those.
Okay, that's fair. So if I have to ask the same question to you, Aben, do you have the same confidence that Bob has?
I think I basically I'll have to say the same thing. It's one game at a time, but the optimist in me feels yes, we can, because the way we have played off late, I think we've done very well. Especially even though we lost, the City game comes to my mind. So that was one of the toughest opposition you can play in the Premier League. So if we can play with the same level of intensity, same level of confidence against all the tough opponents that we have to face, and we can cross the line one at a time, wins, 3 points, draws combined together, I think we can. But yeah, we'll see where we end up.
Arun, exactly, if I have to put across you quickly, right? Like Leicester, do we win, lose, draw?
We have an option. We have to win that game. There's no option. We have to. It's a home game.
There's something that we have to do.
Vijay, it's simple. From here on, all the home games we have to win. Even Liverpool. If possible, I would take a point against Liverpool. But the remaining 5 games, we have no option but to get 15 points from there. If we're looking at this magic number of 70 to get into the Champions League, we're at 48. We need 22 more. There's no way that we are going to get like 20 points from 7 away games, especially when we're playing West Ham, Southampton, where our boogie ground, we never do well. Then we're playing Chelsea, we're having the NLD away. So the biggest option, and Villa as well,
Newcastle, we have to go.
Newcastle, the nouveau rich Newcastle. So when considering all that, like I would not take anything apart from home games are where we have maximum control. We have the biggest advantage in home games, and we've been doing well in home games. The crowd is behind the team like it never was before in the last 3-4 years, or even like I would go on to say last 5-6 years. So we have to maximize the advantage that we have, make use of all of this. We have to win it. There's no other go. Leicester is not the team they used to be. Let's not make them the team that they think they are. No, they are not. They are a bang average team right now. 3 points there for the taking. We have to win this game.
No, we
No,
will have a Leicester preview sometime this week. So
Yes, but I'll give you a preview of that. We have to win that.
That's a good way to look at it. But happy to be top 4. Happy to see United crumble.
Sorry, just on that. Should we be worried about what's happening with Tomiyasu?
I don't think so. I don't think right now we should be worried about it. I
know Cedric is doing good, but we've got big games coming up, and I have my jitters around it.
I think we might have some. If that is the case, then we have jitters around Xhaka. We have jitters around a lot of players of ours. So I think we've
been jittering with Xhaka non-stop for the last 5 years. So I mean, we've gotten adapted to that.
Not just Xhaka, with any of the players, right? This is literally the situation of that meme where elephant hangs by thread or something, right? This is literally that situation. We cannot be having the jitter all around, but I think with Tomiyasu, we got a great deal. Although there has been some injuries of late, I still think that he's a very strong addition to the team in a long run. And right now, this is just a portion of our season where others have to take up the slack, and others are doing it. So we are literally working as a team, and that's what we have to do. But yeah, happy where we are. I think that's where all Arsenal fans would be. So if you guys listening, if you want to add something to whatever we have discussed till now, do comment on it, and share, and subscribe to the Away Gooners podcast,
and follow us on Twitter.
Yes. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining in. I think we will also do a Leicester preview. I think so, because we are never that consistent with our content. We are trying to be, but that is what our next hope is. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining in. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.